Alright, here's a quick start guide to using CapCut. I'm using it on an Android phone, but you can really use this for anything that would include iPhone, iPad, even the computer, even though the computer does a lot more. But I mostly edit all my vlog style and simple videos on my phone because it's just really quick and easy, and I already record with my phone, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna edit my next vlog real quick together. So you're gonna click new project, and then you're gonna import the files you want. I just have two this time, it's really short. And as you can see, when I scroll across, it's all here. Pretty much, I import all the ones I want. When I'm making vlogs, sometimes I'll import them and then I'll have more to import. In that case, you'll tap this little plus icon here and you could add something else. And wherever your little highlighter thing is, that's where it's going to drop. So as you can see, it now put my video right in the beginning. And then of course you can tap and then click this little delete button if you don't want something. If you want to get that back because you accidentally deleted it, I mean I did it on purpose, but I want it back, I'll click this undo button right there. And then, of course, the redo button's right next to it. If you want to listen to it, you can click play. The audio is going to play with it already. If you wanted to edit your audio separately, just click it. You can go to extract audio, and it will do the magic for you. And now you can see your audio. I personally keep it all together until the end if I have any audio things I want to work on. I tend to do the bulk lighting effects first because once I chop it all up, then you have to edit each individual frame, which if you wanted to do that, you're welcome to. But I will show you my method, which sometimes just means I'm going to use a filter real quick and change the coloring. I generally don't end up changing anything because I like my vlogs to be more realistic, but sometimes I just really want to brighten something up because I'm too dark. If you didn't like any of the filters, you could adjust it yourself, just like you would on any photo app. You click the adjust button, brightness, contrast, exposure, sharpen. Some of them do really scary things, but you can go through and play with them and see what you like and make the color grading more specific to what you want. And then if you don't like any of it, you can click the little reset button and it resets it. And then say if you did already chop them all up by accident and they all happen to need the same color grading, you could do this and click apply to all, and then now all of your clips across your entire timeline now have that same color grading. I'm going to just undo that, and we're going to undo that. We'll just reset just to make sure, and we'll click out of it. You can also go through, and sometimes I use this one if I really want my face to look smoother. Nothing's going to help my face in this one. The lighting's awful and everything. But if you wanted to, you can go through, you could thin your face, give yourself a little bit of body dysmorphia. I don't like doing that. It freaks me out. Eyes, nose, you could brighten your face. Sometimes that's nice if you're just a little bit too much in the shade. And you can whiten your teeth if that's also an issue. You can fix your body, you could reshape this. I don't normally use that because a lot of mine are just talking head videos. And it distorts the background too. So you have to be okay with that. Because if you were to shrink yourself, it ends up just taking your background behind you and smushing you because it doesn't register it as a 3D object. Just go through all of these. So the split is your best friend. So first of all, the biggest thing I do to edit, I look for my first thing, I take it and I drag it, and then boom. Now I look at where I'm going to start talking again, line it up.
Just went to the gym.
With my voice, whatever.
Just went to the gym really late at night.
So as you can see what I did there find where I'm going to talk
Just
next.
went to the...
I'm going to click it, click split, and then I'm going to get rid of the one I don't want, and it will take it all the way to the beginning of the timeline, and that's where my video starts.
Just went to the gym. Really?
I end up doing this for anywhere I needed split, so if I stop talking for a prolonged period of time,
Look forward to...
I get rid of it.
To
like right there. I'll split it.
No.
And then I'll drag it. Or you can split again and then just delete the middle section.
Normal. Normal video. That's not a vlog.
Then it just shortens the amount of time you have to listen to. Just the fun little weird sounds. So I go through and I do that to all of the clips. And very, very rarely will I add a transition. But if you wanted to transition between clips, you see this fun little thing right here? You're going to click it. And then there's all of these different transitions you can do. Now, unlike editing platforms like Premiere Pro and stuff like that, you can't just do everything manually. If you really wanted to get in depth and make your own transitions, you would have to use Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects or something like DaVinci Resolve, which are much higher powered editing platforms. I'm sure there's a ton of others, but CapCut just does simple things, which I like. And you can go through, scroll, and be like, I kind of want it to shake in between.
So dead.
And it will edit it for you. And then you can decide how long you want to make it take.
We'll find
and
out.
It will replay it.
Okay, I'm editing. So dead.
And it also will automatically transition your audio. And then I go through, add all of that. And then my outro screen. So we'll always end up with this thing. I just click it and delete it. You don't need to keep that. It's not part of the watermarks. And then I need to go and grab my outro screen, which I'm actually going to re-download because I just recently put music to it. But then I just add that, and when I go plug it into YouTube, I can add the little end screens there. It's pretty much all I do. Occasionally I'll add text where you can add, you can click the add text button and you can just add some normal text. You can go through and you can stylize the text. You can add some, the effects never really worked. What is happening? Okay, I need to use my finger, not my little pen. Okay, you can make it into a bubble. There's just a ton of different presets depending on what you need. And you just go through and find the one you like. Like, yep, we're doing a list today, 1.1. There's a lot of different things you could do for what you need. And there's auto captioning, which I tend to not do for my vlogs and stuff. But if I really felt like this video needed captions, I would. YouTube tends to auto caption for you anyway, so it's not really an issue. But if you wanted to make sure you had captions, you could click the auto captions button and it will do it for you. You can also click on some text templates, which I do a lot of the time. And apparently I can't show you today because my internet's not fun. And then of course stickers, which are just like emojis. Now, what I used to do for like my dancing videos, you can click effects and you can just browse through. It will give you different effects. Some of them hurt my brain. And then you also have body effects. Let's see, I put my hand up for a second. Let's see some of these. And the trending ones are the ones you're going to see the most. Oh, tedious. I actually use these in dance videos because I can
do a lot of tedious work.
Put my whole body in the frame. A lot of CapCut is pretty much just looking through their presets, finding what you like. I'm sure there's a lot of other ways you could use it, but that's pretty much how I use it. You can make sure you have your format correctly. Generally, whatever I film at is correct. But say you wanted to remaster it into any other size, you totally could. The most common sizes are the 9:16, which will be used for shorts, or a vertical form videos like I'm filming right now. And then for like this one, a 16:9, or I'm just going to click fit because it already is in that. Once you have your timeline taken, you can drag this around. And what the canvas background is literally that. It's usually black, and we're just going to keep it that way. But you can move this around, and say you wanted to do a little zoom. This is where we're going to get a little more technical. That little button right there, you're going to click that to keep the frame where you want it. Now, say I wanted to keep the frame where I wanted, so a little bit longer, we'll click there. Okay. Now, at this point, I want to zoom into my wonderful eyeballs. Okay, now it zooms. My big first video that I... Okay, that was awkward. Anyway, those are your keyframes if you wanted to move things around. And you can do a lot with that. And it will automatically keyframe if you happen to move it after making your first keyframe. You can have a lot of fun with that. So that's how you do manual moving of your screen and zooming, stuff like that. Your other things are animations, which that's where your fade in is going to be. Okay. But if you fade in, you can't fade out. So you have to decide if you're going to fade in or fade out. Or I've done this trick where, say I wanted to fade in and then I want to also fade out, like right here. So I want to fade out right here. I'm going to split where my ending is. And then I'll find the middle of the clip. Click split. Now I can fade in. And then I can click this one. And then click fade out. That's how I bypass that, because you can't fade in and fade out. You can only have one animation per little clip like this. There's also, if I click combo, there's ones where it does come in and then go out. I'm editing. But they can be a little freaky for normal videos. But if you're making like compilations or fun little transitions, they're pretty cool. Sometimes I'll use animations instead of transitions. And there's just a ton to look through. And let's just keep going. Remove background. It's exactly what it sounds like. You click it and it attempts to remove your background. I'm going to skip over style. You can check that one out if you want. Extract audio we talked about. Edit, that's your cropping. Filters, adjust, enhance. Chroma key is if you have a green screen or a solid color background, you could get rid of a certain color and replace it with something else. It essentially makes it transparent. You can stabilize your video, opacity, you have voice effects. That's how a lot of creators do the silly voices. I could show you real quick. So if I wanted to sound very, very deep.
Okay, I'm editing my big first video.
It sounds weird.
Okay, I'm editing
so if you need first video, if you need one of those, you can reverse your video. You could freeze the frame. That generally isn't as necessary. If you want a video on all the in-depth techniques, let me know. The other things that I do use are replace, because sometimes I'll pick the wrong video and I'll need to click or pick the wrong picture. Which, speaking of pictures, I'm going to show you the overlay option. So an overlay is, say I want my talking still in the background, but I want to change the picture. We usually do this for like B-roll or things like that, or where it turns out we needed it to be our voiceover. I'm going to click add overlay, and you can use photos. I have a lot of photos in here. We'll use this one. And now I can overlay it. And it just pops in wherever I want it. And you can have fun with this one. And there's little filters you could do. There's a lot of fun things you can do there. So let's say I liked that. I could even add an animation where it will come in. It'll bounce.
Okay, I'm editing.
And then it will go away. It'll just disappear. You could remove the background. You have pretty much all the same things. You could change your opacity. It's pretty much the same things, but now you have another thing layered on top. And yes, it could be another video. We can look at mask for a second real quick. Similar things to before, but this time now there's a little mask on your video. So if you wanted to just show a little bit of something, you can. You can blur it out. That looks terrifying. You could also just blur out a section of your video with the invert option. And we're just gonna get rid of the mask completely. You pinch with 2 fingers, it'll zoom out. Use 2 fingers and you bring them outwards. You zoom in. I forgot. That's like one of the most important things. Now we're gonna look at the audio. So from here, this is where you're going to find your sounds, different effects. This is where you can add a voiceover if you needed to. So if you were like, oh, I need to add a voiceover over my B-roll, then you totally could. Or if you forgot to say something, who knows? It's there. You can add it directly into CapCut. It makes it super simple. There's also your extracted. So those are going to be your files. If you have any files, it'll go in there. So now it's in here as only audio. So if you wanted to just import an only audio video, if that makes sense. Then you have some, so they call them effects, but they're not really effects. It's literally just, yeah, that's not alarming. They're just sounds that you can add to your ambiance. So there's a ton of different ones. There's some short musical pieces. And then there's the standard, like, things, like swishes, countdowns. Sounds is interesting because you could connect it with your TikTok account and then have some of your sounds from there. I've had a lot of issues with this one. It doesn't always work right. You can extract sounds from a video. If you have any on your device, which I do have a lot of songs because of dance. And then you can put in some recommended songs. Very similar to TikTok in this regard. Granted, it does connect directly to TikTok. You can scroll through and find some sounds you like for your ambiance. You could also just export this and then use YouTube to add your music later, or in my case, I don't use any music most of the time. And I will run you real quick through exporting, which this isn't ready to export, but that's okay. You just click this button and it exports for you. Make sure you do not leave this screen until it's finished. So you'll have to leave your phone for a little bit. And once it's done, it will be officially in your photo gallery, or in my case, I put it into Google Photos, so that way I can access it from other devices across the web. I hope this has helped you in getting started with CapCut. And of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can, because YouTube doesn't actually alert me when I get comments for some reason. I'm going to have to go in and fix that, but I will make sure to check every day. Thanks for watching. Bye.